I'll be back. Sorry, couldn't resist. Hello, I'm Alex Ramsey, and I'm here today to talk about a recent movie which is surprisingly getting a lot of hate from critics. And I have no idea why, because I quite frankly enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I went into this movie with a bad mindset for a couple reasons, one of them having to do with the long-standing problem I have with trailers of recent years in general. They reveal way too much, and the same can be held true for the trailer to this. You know going in that John Connor is the Terminator. Hell, they even go as far to reveal it on the poster to the movie, so I went in thinking the biggest twist of the movie had to offer had already been spoiled. But it didn't ruin that character for me, or that part of the movie. It enhanced it. At first, when they show the post-Judgment Day world, I was waiting for John to turn on Kyle Reese, but that moment didn't come. It, like any good movie should, lulled me into a false sense of security, to the point where I started thinking that maybe he was the good guy after all, and maybe Skynet just devised a John Connor look-alike that they'd fight later. This false security made it all the more surprising and heart-stabbing when John Connor finally turned on Kyle. Another thing that tampered with my expectations of the movie were the previous installments. Terminator's first two installments were classic and groundbreaking movies that we still look to today, but the last two weren't exactly stellar. Salvation nearly ended the franchise, with Christian Bale's John Connor sounding more like Batman than the chosen one who would destroy Skynet. The last thing that put me in the wrong mindset going in was the hate critics were giving this movie. All these doubts were washed away when I sat down and watched the movie. At first it seemed like a greatest hits of the Terminator franchise, with lines quoted from the previous installments and even entire scenes recreated from the originals. But it rose above that. It took the reboot route that recent Star Trek franchise took on introducing an alternate timeline to open the world up for the writers and play on fans' expectations. I think I almost watch this better if you know the previous installments, although I think it'd work for first-time viewers too. Early on in the film we see scenes that fans will recognize from previous movies, but they're altered significantly. It really plays on the main theme from Terminator 2 that there's no fate but what we make unto ourselves. Basically meaning that the timeline is liquid, much like Terminator and Terminator 2. The writers and director take this to heart as they do a lot of twists and alternate timeline iterations of certain events and people. The movie is a lot funnier than I was expecting it to be. Arnold delivers some funny lines and one-liners, which is pretty standard, but these were actually laugh-out-loud funny. Also, J.K. Simmons is hilarious as an older version of a cop who witnessed the Terminators in the 80s. One line in particular had me rolling after I heard it, but this movie isn't devoid of emotion either. Arnold plays what is pretty much his character of the good robot from T2, delivering some touching moments with the simplest of gestures, with a hug or a caring look towards Sarah. At first I thought it would be against him being Sarah's guardian from an early age, but through the film I came to accept it and even grow attached to their relationship. The acting is all around great too, no one disappoints, I even like Jai Courtney as Kyle Reese. There wasn't a weak link in the whole cast. The action was even inventive and great to look at. The CG of the Terminators really held up too. Now I know what you're asking, is it better than the first two? No, those will always be classics and will always be the best of the franchise for a reason. I think I agree with James Cameron when he said he considers this the third installment. It definitely is leaps and bounds better than the third installment, and the fourth one is truly deserving of the Terminator title. The only thing really holding it back are a few scenes where the humor goes a little too overboard, that while not ruining it, it definitely didn't need to be in a Terminator movie. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie and would highly recommend it to any fans of the franchise. It's easily a 4 out of 5 for me. That being said, I hope you like this video. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and watch some of my other videos. I'll be coming out pretty soon with other Terminator videos. I'm going to try and do in-depth retrospectives of the first movie, the second movie, the third movie, and maybe in the TV series. I'm definitely going to do Salvation, so look forward to that if you really like this. Okay, comment below what you thought of it. Did you think the same thing I did? Am I crazy here and I'm the only one who's seeing this is a really great movie? Let me know what you thought below.